You ever find yourself stuck on a thought that just won't quit? You know, a worry that plays on a loop in your head? Well, today we're going to tackle that exact challenge, the endless cycle of overthinking, and, way more importantly, how to break it.
Sound familiar? That feeling of being totally stuck in your own head, where the same thoughts just spin and you just can't seem to move forward. It really is like your mind is a broken record.
But here's the really good news. You're not just a worrier, and this is not some permanent part of your personality. You're just caught in a mental loop, and I promise you, with the right tools, you can absolutely find the exit.
Okay, so to find that exit, first we've got to understand the machine we're stuck in. Let's call it the mental hamster wheel. What is overthinking, really? And why does it feel so exhausting?
You know, psychologists have a name for this, rumination. And the American Psychological Association puts it perfectly. This isn't just thinking a lot. It's obsessive, it's repetitive, and it actually gets in the way of you thinking about anything else. It literally jams up your mental gears.
And if you feel like you're the only one doing this, oh, you are so not alone. Seriously, research shows that a whopping 73% of adults between 25 and 35 report being chronic overthinkers. It's like a modern epidemic of the mind.
All this rumination often leads to something called analysis paralysis. This is when you overanalyze a situation so much, usually because you're scared of making a mistake, that you just freeze. You get so paralyzed that you end up making no decision at all.
And this brings us to a really crucial point. Not all deep thinking is bad. Not at all. There's a huge difference. Productive thinking, it feels calm, curious, like you're actually moving towards a solution. But overthinking, that just feels anxious and scattered, and the only thing it leads to is you getting more and more stuck. The feeling and the result, those are your key signals.
And the stakes here are actually pretty high. This isn't just some quirky little personality trait. Chronic overthinking can seriously mess with your life, from making stress worse and hurting your ability to handle your emotions, all the way to wrecking your sleep and increasing your risk for real anxiety and depression.
So that begs the question, if overthinking is so unhelpful, why on earth do we do it? Let's dig into the hidden causes and the little mental traps that keep this loop going.
Well, it turns out the triggers can be all over the place. Sometimes we trick ourselves into thinking that if we just worry a little more, we'll have some brilliant insight. Other times it's rooted in things like past trauma or ongoing stress you just can't control, or even personality traits like perfectionism.
But here's a twist that might surprise you. Overthinking isn't a sign of a weak mind. Sometimes it can actually be a side effect of a really powerful one. Research has found that people with higher intelligence can be more prone to worry and rumination. It's like your brain is so good at seeing every possible outcome that it ironically becomes its own trap.
Overthinking is also fueled by these unhelpful mental shortcuts our brains take, called cognitive distortions. Think of them as patterns that just twist the way we see reality. For instance, catastrophizing takes a small problem and blows it up into a total disaster. And all-or-nothing thinking sees everything as either perfect or a complete failure. Just recognizing your own patterns is a huge first step to dismantling them.
Okay, so we get the problem now. We know what fuels it. Now for the most important part. How do we actually escape? Let's get into some real practical tools you can start using to break the cycle right now.
So what do you do in the exact moment you catch yourself spiraling down that rabbit hole? Think of these next strategies as your mental first aid kit for getting some immediate relief.
Honestly, the simplest tool is often the best one: distraction. The second you feel that loop starting, find something, anything, engaging to do. It can completely break the thought cycle. The goal isn't to ignore your problems forever, but just to stop that obsessive spiral in its tracks.
Along those same lines, get physical. Overthinking traps you inside your head, but moving your body grounds you right back in the present moment. Even a super short walk can completely change your mental state. In fact, research shows that a 90-minute walk in nature can seriously decrease rumination.
All right, those are fantastic for in-the-moment relief. But to really conquer overthinking for good, you need to start building new mental habits, for the long haul.
So, building that long-term resilience involves a few key practices. It really starts with just noticing what your triggers are. From there, you can start to push back on that perfectionism that so often fuels worry. You can also practice mindfulness, which is just learning to observe your thoughts without getting totally swept away by them. Or, hey, try journaling. Just get all those swirling thoughts out of your head and down on paper.
Now, within all these strategies, there is one that's so powerful it really deserves its own spotlight, and that is the technique of reframing.
Reframing is just a conscious choice to challenge and change your perspective. So when a negative thought pops up, just stop, identify it. Then ask yourself a simple question. Is this thought 100% factually true? And almost always, the answer is going to be no. And right there, that's your chance to consciously choose a more balanced, more realistic way of looking at it.
Ultimately, all of these techniques are really about one thing: developing a healthier relationship with your own mind. It's all about learning to think differently, about your own thinking.
You know, there's a quote that just nails it. Overthinking is the art of creating problems that weren't even there. It feels like you're being productive, right? But so often, you're just inventing brand new anxieties out of thin air.
So here it is. This is the new mindset to work on. This is the big takeaway. First, understand your thoughts are not facts. Second, you can notice them without having to react or obey them. Third, aim for progress, not perfection. And finally, let go of what you can't control. This right here, this is where you find real mental freedom.
Because in the end, your mind is an incredibly powerful tool. The real question is, who's in charge? Overthinking makes you its prisoner. But with these strategies, you can become its pilot, and you can direct it where you actually want to go. The choice to take back the controls is all yours.